Joseph had dreams, big dreams. He saw himself rising above his own brothers. But those dreams didn't lead to success. They led to betrayal. His own brothers turned on him, threw him into a pit, then sold him like he meant nothing. Now he's alone. No family, no home, no freedom. Just chains, and a one-way journey to Egypt. But here's the question. Was this the end of his story, or the beginning of something greater? This because what happens next will test him in ways he never expected. Joseph was no longer in Canaan, no longer in his father's house, no longer a free son. He was now in Egypt, a strange land, a loud land, a place where no one knew his name. He was sold again, this time to a man named Potiphar, a powerful officer of Pharaoh, a man with wealth, a man with authority. And just like that, Joseph became a servant in his house. At first, everything felt heavy. Joseph worked long hours. He cleaned, he carried, he obeyed. He was far from home, but he did not give up. And something strange began to happen. Everything Joseph touched started to succeed. Potiphar noticed. This young man, everything he does works. So Potiphar gave Joseph more responsibility, then more, until Joseph was placed in charge of the entire house. Nothing happened without him. But the truth was simple. Joseph was not alone. Even in Egypt, even in slavery, God was with him. And people could see it. Potiphar trusted him completely. Everything was going well. For the first time in a long time, Joseph had peace. But peace does not always last long in painful stories. Potiphar had a wife, and she noticed Joseph. Young, strong, focused, different from the other servants. She began to watch him day after day. Then one day, she spoke to him. "Come to me." But Joseph refused. "No, my master has trusted me with everything. How could I do something like this and sin against him and against God?" He walked away. But she did not stop. Day after day she kept trying, but Joseph kept refusing. Until one day, when no one else was inside the house, she grabbed him. "Come with me." Joseph pulled away. He ran. But in his escape, she grabbed his robe and he left it behind. Now she had something in her hand and a plan in her heart. She screamed, "Help! This man tried to attack me!" The servants came running. Potiphar was called, and Joseph had no one to defend him. No proof, no witnesses, nothing. Just silence. Potiphar was angry. He believed his wife. Joseph was arrested, dragged away, chains again. The house he once ruled was gone. Now he was in prison for something he did not do. From favorite son to slave to prisoner. And yet, Joseph did not break. Even in prison, something remained. Everything Joseph touched still carried favor. Even in darkness, God was still with him. But Joseph could not see the full picture yet. All he knew was this: he had done right and still ended up here. Joseph was now in prison. Not because he failed, not because he was guilty, but because he did what was right and still suffered for it. The prison was cold, dark, and quiet in a painful way. Not the kind of quiet that brings peace, but the kind that makes you feel forgotten. Days became weeks, weeks became years, and Joseph stayed there. No one came for him. No one asked about him. No one remembered his dreams. The boy with the vision was now just another prisoner. But even here, something strange happened again. Even in prison, Joseph stood out. He worked with excellence. He helped others. He listened. He stayed faithful. And slowly, the prison keeper noticed him. This man, everything he touches works. So Joseph was given responsibility again. Even in prison, he was trusted. One day, 2 new prisoners arrived. Important men from Pharaoh's palace. One was the king's cupbearer. The other was the baker. They had offended Pharaoh, and now they were in prison with Joseph. Joseph was assigned to take care of them. One night, both men had dreams. Strange dreams. Heavy dreams. They woke up disturbed, confused, afraid. Joseph noticed and asked, "Why are you so sad today?" They said, "We both had dreams, but no one can explain them." Joseph replied calmly, "God can explain dreams. Tell me." The cupbearer spoke first. "I saw a vine with 3 branches. It grew and produced grapes. I took the grapes and gave them to Pharaoh." Joseph listened, then said, "This is the meaning. In 3 days you will be released. You will return to your position." Then Joseph added, "When it happens, remember me. Speak to Pharaoh about me. I was taken from my land unfairly." The cupbearer nodded. Then the baker spoke. "I had 3 baskets of bread, but birds came and ate everything." Joseph paused. This time, his voice was heavier. "This means, in 3 days, you will be executed." Silence. 3 days later, everything happened exactly as Joseph said. 1 man was restored. 1 man was gone. Joseph waited. Day 1, day 2, day 3. But the cupbearer forgot him. No message to Pharaoh. No help. No mention of Joseph. Just silence again. Joseph had helped someone and was forgotten. Back in prison. Back in waiting. Back in silence. 2 more years passed. Joseph was still there, still faithful, still unseen. But heaven was not finished. Because sometimes before promotion, there is the longest silence. And Joseph was standing right in that silence. But in the palace, far above the prison, Pharaoh was about to have a dream that would change everything. And this time, Joseph would be remembered.